Okay, guys, I think we're live. Let's see. Let me just share the link to Discord as usually, just so that those who are in Discord can easily join without having to go to my YouTube channel. Okay. Here is the newest stream. Day 5. Going strong. Okay, I see people are slowly joining. Welcome, guys. Let's continue with data filtering. What I want to do is modify the data structure such that we end up having a directory that's basically the data set, the corpus name, and then we need to have something like this. We have to have directories that have language codes separated by a dash. So language direction directory, and then inside of there we need to have the language, the actual parallel corpus. So here we have English, and then we have in, I guess, Kurdish, the same sentences. So that's the structure I want to create. Currently, some of the corpuses are flat, as you can see here. These two are directly under the corpus name. So I want to instead modify those. And here is the initial logic I wrote. So we go through the dataset names. We'll list the content here. We see if we have directories. In case we have directories, we enter this branch. If we don't, then we make sure that we have exactly 2 elements, and those 2 should be files. And then we basically grab let me see what we do here. We grab the first element, and we grab the suffix, and same here. And then we create directions, we create the directories, and we place in those files to those directories. If this is not clear, it's going to be clear in a couple of seconds. Let me just see one thing. I first want to copy. I actually want to copy instead of move. So when I make the directories, I want to copy. How can one copy a file in Python? Copy file in Python. How to copy files. So we can use shutil. I don't know how this package should be pronounced. If anybody knows, you can write an IPA or something. Okay, so we copy from source to the destination. Something like this. So we move the files. So we can just actually rename this part easier. Okay. And then we actually want to remove the original file. That's it. So let's see whether this will work. We can slowly start. Let's go. Okay. The first one is HXHOSA Navy. So here we can see it's flat. Because it's flat, it will basically enter this branch. We grab the direction, which is English, and whatever this is. Let's see what language this is. I'm just curious so I can actually pronounce these things. So we have the ISO codes opened up. Here are the ISO codes. So HSO, XSO, right? And English and no, sorry, XHO. Woza. What's this? I learned a ton today about languages. I never heard about most of these languages. Nguni language. Official languages of South Africa and Zimbabwe. Woza. Okay. Thanks a lot, Navjot. Yeah, I'm not moving from here until I basically replicate this checkpoint, man. I'm gonna open source this no matter the cost. So we create 2 directories. So as you can see now, so look at this now. So we create under dataset path, we create a new directory. So you can see here, here's the direction, and then the second direction, and then we go through the files. So here's the first file, and we copy that file into the directory. So we copy that file into this new directory. Let's see, here it is. And then we copy it here as well. Okay. And then we basically remove that file from here. And then we go again and we copy and we copy and we remove. So that's it. So this data set is now in the position, in the correct, it has the correct structure. Okay. Let's continue. So we have CMU Haitian. This one. Again, this is a flat one. So because of that, we'll enter here. We'll grab the directions, English and HAT. We create those. We create the directions. We copy, we remove, we copy, we remove. We're done. Let's go. The next one is this one. Again, no, this one is actually, this one will enter here. So we will just ignore it, okay? Because it already has the correct structure. Let's go. Next up, we have Giosa, however you pronounce this one. Again, this one is flat. So we're gonna enter this part. We're gonna grab the directions. Let's see what this is. This is GRN. GRN. That's Guarani language. That's macro language actually. By macro language it means it's just a group of related languages spoken in Paraguayan Guarani, South American language. Okay, let's go. Again, create directories and then copy, copy, and then remove, and then copy, copy, and then remove. That's it. Next up, we have Lingala songs. So here, how the hell are you able to work 10 hours a day? Well, I actually just ran 5 kilometers. That was my rest. And it's usually more than 10 hours. It's 10 and a half only streaming. And which you know for sure because I've been filming myself working, but I also work other than that. So let me data set path. I'm not saying I'm normal. I'm crazy. Songs. So we have 2 files here again. So we're gonna again enter this branch here. So we're gonna grab the, okay, so here we're gonna make a mistake. Why? Because this is a double letter code. Thanks, Kaushal. Thanks a lot. By the way, guys, if I don't know if you saw this, but do join the channel here, Metal and NLB replication in Discord. and I'm looking for language champions basically. So that means if you speak some native language, we can make you the owner of that particular language. So your responsibility will be to go through the parallel corpus and make sure that the translations make sense. And in return, I will basically, we'll have a README where all of the people who contributed will be mentioned. We'll have like credit assignment page. So if that's something that's interesting to you, let me know. Here we're already starting to create that particular document. So you can see here some people already applied for Kurdish, French, Spanish, Turkish. I will be obviously for Serbian. And the prerequisite is that you basically have to speak that language as a native. That's I also speak 4 more languages. I speak Spanish, Portuguese, German, and English, obviously, other than Serbian, but I'm not native in any one of those. So okay, guys. Sorry, just a quick digression there. Let's continue. So again, I was saying this is going to be incorrect. So because of that, let's quickly go and see what's LIN. Which language is LIN? Is that a valid ISO code? So the ISO 639 3 is the code we're looking for. LIN. Here it is. So that's Lingala language. And it makes sense that they are trying to translate between French, because to the best of my knowledge of history, French did occupy most of this part of Africa, like Western Africa. So that's probably why there are translations there. You're native in French, Arabic, and Berber. Nice. Okay, so when you say Arabic, which language? Because I know there's a ton of them. There is Egyptian, there is Tunisian, there is a ton of different Arabic languages. It's a macro language, right? All of them, okay? Are you a hyperglot, if that's the term? So French. Let's now do one thing. I'm gonna correct this such that if the length of the direction is different from 3. Okay, no, if the length is equal to 2, then we're going to try and use our mapping function. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to grab this mapper. Let's go here. And we're going to map direction to ISO 6393. Same thing goes for this direction, second direction. So if we see that the length of direction 2 is 2, then we do this. So now we should be good. So now we're gonna translate French into Egyptian, Syrian, Algerian. Yeah, they all have different dialects. Yeah, I did learn a little bit of MSA, like the modern standard Arabic. So I did learn the scripture back in like beginning of my faculty days or high school, but I never actually learned the language per se. Okay, let's continue. There is one more thing I would love to do. I would love to change the suffix here. So if we have the suffix that's double letter, we can maybe modify it so that we have triple letter code. Let me just think for a second. What's the best thing to do here? Let's maybe just modify the suffix as well. Okay, let's maybe add some flags. So if we enter this branch, that means this particular language code was ISO 6391, which is just a fancy way of saying 2 letters. And then if that's the case, when we copy this, we're going to modify the file. So here we're going to modify the file. So basically, if this is the case, then let's change the file name. New file is going to be something like, let me think for a second. So new file should be, I'm thinking whether we should do this. Yeah, let's just do this. Let's just create a new file. New file is gonna be not exactly this. Instead, it's gonna be -1. No, actually, sorry. Let me think for a second. So what if we have multiple dots? We don't wanna assume anything. Yeah, exploration went fairly well. I mean, there's gonna be iterative work, obviously, but like I'm just pushing through. I want to push through and start the training, and then we're gonna start iterating. By the way, I also shared a repo, so you can check it out in the channel. What would be our contribution on the languages? Noticing any errors, that's one thing you can do. Second thing would be if you're aware of any particular corpus for your language, for your native language with some other languages, you can contribute additional data. That would be an amazing contribution. That's going to be especially useful once we start scaling above 3.3 billion parameters. Okay. So maybe let's do something like this. There was this, just a second, there was this very cool function which I forgot the name of. That was called R something, Rfind. Okay, Rfind. So this is what we're gonna do actually. So file, and then we crop file Rfind, find the dot, and then direction. Hopefully this makes sense. So we find the rightmost dot, and we remove everything until then, and then we add dot and direction. Why is this paper so important to you? Bunch of reasons. One of them is I love languages myself, and secondly, I think the world is too focused on just English. I think everybody should be able to communicate with AI systems in their own language. I tried playing with Serbian, and it turned out DeepL, which is the commercial offering that's one of the most serious companies out there, and they don't even support Serbian. So I think there is a ton of things to do there. Okay, you're struggling with latency. Why are you struggling with latency? What's the size of your model? Where are you hosting? Do you have like a service or something? Okay, let me focus just a bit so that we can get this ready. kind of iterative, but kind of repetitive, but for now I think it's fine. Or maybe just define a function quickly. Do it like this. File, file, file. Looking good. And then everything else we need to pass in is, will this work? And then we can just call something like this. Okay, looking good. I think this might be okay. Not the cleanest code in the world, but looks like it should do the job. Okay, let's now put the breakpoint there, hit run until we get here. Okay, no module named examples NLLB. Okay, this is just a second. What's up here? We want to do ISO mappings. We don't want this, we just need this. And now let's rerun it. This should now work. And indeed it does. So Lingala songs, that's where we stopped. Okay, let me just read the chat, guys. Yeah, definitely agree on English focus, totally supported. 100%, man. I'm working with Whisper for speech recognition and it's slow. Try C translate too. It's fairly fast, depending on what you're trying to accomplish, right? Okay, direction, French, okay. So again, French, we're gonna enter here. We're gonna map to FRA. We're gonna set the flag to true. And then we create one direction, different direction. Let's open up the Lingala songs. Here we are. On the left side here, we create one directory, second directory. Then we grab the first file, the second file. We rename the file so that we end up with, you can see here, F correct suffix. And then here we already have correct suffix. And then we define this function. And now when we enter, let's see whether this works. So we're gonna grab the file. And copy. Okay, this failed because no such directory. Lingala songs. Okay, something went wrong here. Let's see what's up. Beside open source, what is the app or service you're trying to work on with the different languages? No, I'm just trying to currently open source this. There is no other thing I'm doing. How can you contribute? You can contribute by helping around with data. The best thing to do for you is to join the channel, and I'll be announcing stuff there and also organizing some meetings. So we can jump and synchronize and agree on some of the things, on tasks that people can do. Awesome. That's perfect prerequisite. That's a great role. We need Emily's. Okay, what's up here? We have file. So I'm not sure what happened. Let's just try and figure this out. Could it be that it's struggling because of the... Because I'm assuming that the information from the outer scope is propagating inside here. I'm not sure. Let's try. Let's rerun this. Lingala songs. Okay, this is now gonna actually fail. Let me delete this again. I don't think there is a significant difference between those two roles, especially if you're working with transformers. Okay, let's go, guys. Lingala songs. Modify the suffix. Make the directories. Here we go. Grab the files. Modify the file names. Enter here. Okay, we have Lingala songs. File. Okay, I see what's the issue. So the issue is we changed the name here, but we need to preserve the original one. So that's the thing, because we'll be copying from the original one to the new one. Okay, let's see how we can do this elegantly. Maybe we can just do a ternary operator. So same here. So this is gonna be if in case this was a 2-letter code, then we swap it with the new one. Okay, and then we pass in both values here and here and here and here, and then what we do is new file actually here. That should now work. Okay, guys, so one more thing I want to do is, because this is terrible, I don't like the variable names here. Let me just quickly change this. This is not a direction, this is just a language one. And this is just language 2. And then this is file name, not file. I hate when you see file is a different thing than file name. File name, and then new file name, and new file name here. Okay, so we pass the file names, and here we do again file name, and why is this not working? Okay, man, just file name, file name, file name, file name, file name. Okay. Again, it really depends. I told you, like in DeepMind, you have our so-called REs. That's how it's called in DeepMind, research engineers, who literally publish more papers than some RSs. So it depends on the project, depends on what you're working on. It's really depends on the organization you belong to. Most people working on these larger scale projects are not really incentivized to publish papers anymore, because most of these works are proprietary and they don't share it anymore. So I was working on such projects, so that's why I was not on any paper. I did have a shout out in the Flamingo paper, like acknowledgement sections. You can find my name in the Flamingo paper. Okay, so let's rerun this. This should now be okay. So we grab the languages, we change the to 3-letter code, file names. Okay, let's go. Okay, we've copy pasted it here and we've copy pasted this here. And then we continue. So that's it. This one is now ready. And then this data set, let's see what this is. Again, this is going to be flat. So we end up here. We grab the languages. We can just continue. And we can see that this is now in the correct. It's in the correct format. The new one is Umsuka. Okay, looking good. We can just jump over it. It's done. It's disturbing. You move your foot. Do you hear the sound or what? Tib, let me know if you hear the sound. Yeah, I'm moving my foot. It's not stress. It's just concentration. Oh, the image. Okay, sorry. I didn't know that. Apologies. I know the flow feeling. Okay, I'm too close to the table, so I'm just touching the table with my body. I guess that's the thing. Okay, let's go to this one. Hey, Amrit, welcome, man. Welcome. Kenyams, what's this? What data set is this one? Let me just find it. I don't see it. Where is this? Oh no, this is the, okay, data set name, Kenya SMT. Okay, this one. Okay, we can just jump over it basically. And as you can see here, interesting. Why? Okay, here it is. We processed this data set. And now let's see which one we are processing French Iwi. Where is that one? Here it is. Again, let's see which language is Iwi. Iwi. West Africa. Ghana, Togo, and Benin. Interesting. Let's go. We can just F5 here and it's gonna be processed correctly. So here it is. By the way, for Amrit, we're just basically getting the data set in a particular format so that we can then later easily create some configs for the filtering. You'll see a bit later once we get there. So FFR, okay, here again, phone, and this is gonna be handled correctly. As you can tell, here it is. Which language is FON? FON. Oh, there is no code here. Let's just see here in the paper. There is fun here. Okay, that's some language from the Atlantic Congo group. Interesting. Okay. why Norsk memories. Okay, so again, this is going to be processed correctly. NNO and NOB. NNO, Norwegian, Neo-Norsk. NNB, was it NNB? Did I get that right? No. NNO, NOB. NNO. Norwegian. NNB. NOB. Okay, Norwegian Bokmal, Norwegian Nynorsk. One of the two official written standards of the Norwegian language. The other one being Bokmal. Okay. Fair enough. Next up, French Fongbi. By the way, the reason I'm manually inspecting this is because there are some irregularities and I just want to get familiar with the datasets. French Fongbi. Here it is. Again, we can just hit F5. Oh, interesting. This one actually failed. Oh, because what? Because we are handling this one. Menio 20K. Okay, let's see what's up with that one. Menio 20K. Okay, it has a particular, you can see here, it has a train TSV, which is basically just a combination of these two. Unit 1. English Yoruba. I think we can just delete this one. But then, let me think for a second. What's the best thing to do here? We are going to maybe filter out the files. Yeah, I think we should just reuse some of the functions we wrote today. So that's one of them is this one. It is going to retrieve the files as well as the directions. New files and okay. I think we should just keep all of this in this file here. And then specify this. Can we hard code this? Let me think for a second. I think we can hard code this here. And then this script could be used here. And then we can reuse this function across other files. So we don't really need this. what we need is to specify this extended lengths. Directly here by doing the what's that command where we pick the path of this current file. How do you get the path of the current file? So we want to do something like exactly. And then we just import this. Maybe not the cleanest way to do this, but for now I think it works. Yeah. Thanks, Amrit. Copilot helped me before. Copilot was fast. Okay, let's see. Maybe we can just keep this whole file. In there. Okay. Looking good. And now let's go here and let's import the same function. We're going to do the following. Okay. And then basically grab those. Like this. And then just grab only the file names. So we do the following. We just grab the files. Okay, so something like this will work. Should work. Okay, again, the same dataset. We end up with two files. And then we can just grab the languages, Yoruba and English. That's it. We can hit F5. This will not work. As you can tell here, we just stored these guys. Should we delete this TSV? I'm not sure. We can add a flag for this function to basically delete all of the files that are not supported. That's one thing we could do. Okay, but for now, let's just go. Mukibi. We can just hit F5. Mukibi is processed now. Or is it? Wait. TV. Okay. Looking good. I think we processed most of the data sets, so let's see what's left. What exactly are you analyzing now? I'm not analyzing anything. I'm currently just preparing the data into this particular format. As you can see, dataset name, language direction, and then files. And so I've done that for each of our datasets. This is a big one. Oh my god, this is a huge dataset. Okay, let me just go up there. Just making sure every dataset has that same format. So this one does not have. This one has. So NLLB seed is a bit different. Let me just make some notes. NLLB seed is a bit different. And then this one is okay. This one is kind of okay, but not completely because it has this script in it as well. Okay. Looking good. Looking good. Looking good. Indic is not okay as well, because indic, this is the only one that's n-way parallel. And then all of the other ones should be okay. I think we're good here with each one of them. We need to do one more thing. What I would do here, or we can leave that for later. You see here, like we have only English to, this is Tigray, I think, some Ethiopian language. We also want to have reverse direction. They didn't mention anything about that in the paper, but like as you saw before, I deliberately made both directions for each of these other data sets that I was processing. So maybe for now we can ignore that, but later we can think whether we want to make sure, maybe let's add a to-do. Okay. Now let's fix these three data sets and then we can go and start filtering. I'll push the script, by the way, so you can play with it yourself. What's this min language? There is no mention of min. Okay, min is Arabic. Min is Minangkabau. Interesting. So maybe we need to leave the Latin script because it's literally the only thing separating the languages, apparently. Which is unfortunate because we might get into trouble later when processing. Okay, let's go and see NLLB seed. Do we want to leave the script like this? And then there is no suffix here. Maybe for NLLB seed, we can go and just add the suffix. Just rename the files. Okay, let's do that. Okay, and now we want to grab the files and rename them. Not really. What we have to do here is this to get the language code. And then the new file name is just file with the language code, right? And that's it. Rename it. Okay. It's kind of dirty because it's a special case, but so we go and find this one. We go through its directories, and then we find the paths to those directories. We'll list the files there. I mean, there is a more elegant way to do it with OSWalk, but this will work. For file and files. Okay, this should work. Let's just test this quickly. Okay. We grab the files. Here are the files. We go through the files. We grab the actual code. And then we say, hey, here is the English Latin with English. And then we rename it. So let's go up there. So English Latin from the English Latin MRI. This one, we should rename this. Nothing changed? Ah, it did change. Okay. So let's go again. Rename it. MRI. Okay. So now we just hit F5 and that's it. And we renamed every file so that it has the suffix. Okay. So just small processing for NLLB seed. Looking good. We can potentially also remove something like that. Okay. Why is it trying to enter this branch here? Oh fuck. So now I've added two suffixes here to the snap. This is bad. That was bad logic. Only if it doesn't have the dot, then it should. So if the file does not have a dot, then we continue. Just to prevent the same thing from happening again. I'm not sure that will work. Let's see, maybe. Will that actually work when you run the script? It doesn't matter. I'm gonna just undo it using the logic as well here. I'm just confused. Why is it entering here? All of these should be directories, right? Yeah, it's gonna fail there because, okay. Anyhow. Let's quickly figure out what's going on. And let me just undo this quickly. So for NLLB, for each of the files, I'm gonna quickly do one thing. We find that dot and we remove everything until then, right? Looking good. And then after this one, just break it. Again, this is just undoing what I've done there with okay, here's the file. So just remove the, let's see what this will return us. Again, F is this, and this one is going to be precisely what we need, right? So rename these guys, and then that's it. Okay, looking good now. Looking good now, and now we can remove this. This was just a temporary fix. So let's just quickly go for content. In dataset content, print OS path is directory. Okay. Let's see what's up there. Why do we enter this? Rerun. Okay. For each of them, it says false. Why? This is a directory, right? Anybody has an idea? Am I missing something obvious or not? Aha. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out why is this not a directory? Okay, I got it, because it does not exist. We have NLLB seed, and then so we go through there. This is got it. Because we are literally renaming this here. We have the same variable name. Let's make sure we're not doing that. The content. Okay, looks good now. So now we should not enter this branch. That's the expectation. But then we enter, okay. We enter this one because what? Okay, because we have that TSV file. That's the fix there. That's it. Okay, we fixed NLLB seed, this one, and then we're left with indic. Let's see what happens with indic. Yes, this is the final one. So this is the only n-way parallel dataset that we have. All of the other ones you have like literally just two languages. So a single direction there, and here we have a ton of languages, and you can do a fully connected graph. So each direction can be translated into each other direction. So we can go ahead and do that. Now we can maybe, let me think. what do we want to do here? We first want to remove this final repo, which is just intermediate directory that we don't need. And then train dev test. I'm not sure which one of these we're going to use for evaluation. Let's suppose we only use train. So we can focus only on the train. So what we can do is ideally we would move dev and test somewhere else and then just expand train and create, let's see. Oh no, this one is already in the right. Okay, this one is already apparently in the right has the right structure, roughly. Not quite. Yeah, we can just extract these to the upper layer. Okay, so this is what I would do. Go back here. We need another special case. So if dataset name is indic NLP, then we want to do what? Each of the final files in the directory structure is by text. Yes. Let me show you an example. Maybe, so here is the one pair and the second pair. So you can see here, if we scroll all the way down there, we have 20,106 lines. And whatever this language is, you probably know better than I do, maybe Bengali or something, I have no idea. And then it has also 20,106. So it's literally parallel corpus. That's by text, by definition. Okay. So, Bengali, yes. Okay. Let's create the following thing. We're gonna do the following. So we're gonna create okay. So I'm going to just create another directory, move the test and everything there, and just leave everything we need here. So first things first, we're gonna do the following. We're gonna move the dev there and test as well. And readme as well. Hi there, welcome. So we're gonna move this one to there. That's gonna get rid of this one. Now let's get rid of dev And let's get rid of I'm not sure whether this will do the job, but let's try. And after that, we just have to expand the train. Let's see whether this works. So let's create this directory next to datasets. Here it is. And then we move the README there. Okay, that did not work. Indic NLP README. Okay, that failed because what? Because we first have final repo. Okay. Let's try again. So here is this one. Now let's see whether this works. So now it moved it there. Let's see whether this works. So we're trying to move this to there. Okay, it looks like it worked. Nice. So here we moved it there. And again, so we're now left only with train. And now from train, we just want to expand. We just want to push out all of these data sets to the high level, assuming there will be no naming conflicts, which I don't see the issue with. I don't see any familiar name here. So we can just remove all of this hierarchy above them, indic NLP, final repo, and train, and delete these two files, and we're done. So basically now just do the following thing. We go through these files. If it's a directory, then we move it. Else we remove it. So if it's a directory, we move it where? We actually move it to the dataset root, right? Here. exactly here. Copilot 100%, man. Best thing ever. This should do it. So we move from here to dataset root. And then at the end, we just delete. We remove the train path. Well, we actually remove the whole dataset path. Let me think. Okay, this should do it. Let's try again. This will fail because we've already done it. This will fail, we've done it. Okay, and then train. We go through train. If it's a directory, we do that. Otherwise, no, we actually want to, why would we remove it? Let's just move it instead to the non-trainable. Let's just do something like that, just to store it. Later we can handle it in a bit nicer fashion, but so we just move it there, and then at the end we'll remove the directory which is empty. Okay. By the way, let's just quickly see what are these files. Yeah, that's VS Code. It's just step-by-step debugging, the best thing in the world. You just run in VS Code, run and debug. What's this? Let's see. Okay, somebody's using tabs, not spaces. The age-old question. Yeah, of course. I mean, it's still manageable. There is not that many of you, and you're usually asking relevant questions. As long as it's related to what we are doing here, NLLB, and not something completely different, tangential, then I'm always happy to reply. Otherwise, I'll just say that we can handle it later in Discord or whatnot. Just trying to analyze this script before we move it there. Is there anything valuable here? No, we just do some, must be fishy, blah, blah, blah. Now we can just ignore all of this. Get 0 short pairs. We can ignore all of this. There's one more thing I would love to do before we go to filtering, and that's to, let's do the following thing. Let's quickly analyze the download data script. I just used it. I'm not sure what exactly happened. Maybe there are some caveats in there. I would love to. I think it's very valuable to spend some time here with the data, just getting comfortable with the data sets we're using. Okay, let's rerun. Can Copilot generate a summary? It can generate whatever you want as long as you prompt it to do that. As long as it's in the textual domain, it can do whatever you really want. summary of a function. Yes. Let me quickly show you. Below is a function that does something. Create a summary of the above function. Create a human readable summary of the above function. Let's see what it gives us. Okay, we broke it, man. We broke the copilot. Okay, I think the confusing part is that it's called sum. Let's call it foo. Okay, adds two numbers together. It's okay. I mean, you probably have to think a little bit how to do it, but I'm fairly sure it can be done. No, doc strings 100%. You can generate doc strings, but here I tried a bit different thing. I literally gave it a function and told it to some. This is more meant. This is more for ChatGPT, by the way. These types of things. Okay, let's restart this. Okay, again, ignoring all of this because it's gonna just fail. Go to path, go to here. If it's not a list, so it's gonna move these files, move this file, and then we are now here, wiki matrix. So it's gonna grab the wiki matrix and hopefully it's gonna paste it somewhere up there, right? Underneath the data sets. Let's go. Here it is. Awesome. And then we can do the same thing for all of the other ones. Blah, 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 and then get here, and then we just remove. So here is a ton of new data sets underneath data sets, and we just go and say remove indic NLP. Okay, that failed because what? Not empty. Really? Oh. Well, it is empty, it's just that you don't understand that fact. Indic NLP doesn't have anything inside other than the directories, which are also empty. So we also have to do one more thing. We have to make sure these are using the 3-letter codes. That's the final processing step, and I think we're pretty much done. We're pretty much done here. Okay, good old remove tree. This should not work. Let's see. Okay, remove the index. And indeed, it removed it. That's it, guys. Final step. Final step will be to what? To make sure we are using 3-letter codes. So what we should have done is taken note of all of the index datasets and then later just go through them and change the codes. Okay, let's see what's the best way to do this. And now we are almost there. Like we literally have just very nice structure of every single dataset in our corpus of the primary data. Let me think. How do we want to do this? Maybe next time we grab directory names. Kinda, but not quite. So for element in there, if was path join, if that's an element, if that's a directory, only if it's a directory, then we pass it here. And then we do the whole logic, and now we have this, and then we can go and iterate. It's a bit procedural. I don't really like it. It can probably, like, I encourage you guys to potentially refactor, although we have more interesting and higher priority items than refactoring this code if it works. But if you have idea how to make it nicer, feel free to do that. That's also a contribution I will be accepting. So now we go there, and we want to do what? We want to start at the root. Exactly. And now we want to process them. So we have the name of the directory. Let's take this one. And okay, so we now go and do what? We now go and iterate through this data set. And let's not call it dataset path. That's bad. Let's be a bit more creative. Specific. Okay, that's the thing we want to do. And now we want to convert those, right? We want to convert those into exactly, and then or just rename. Can we rename a directory? What's the easiest way to rename a directory? How to rename a directory in Python? Okay, same as files. Okay, fair enough. Let's try. So we rename from this to new directory name. Fair enough. And then we also want to rename the content inside of it, right? We don't want to move anything. We just want to do that. I'm so used to, yeah, you're probably right. I see a lot of people using those. I'm just used to this. This is also fairly, I don't know. Once you get used to it, it's fairly intuitive. We renamed it, and then we want to go inside of it. Okay. Data set. And then we rename this guy to what? No, not really. We don't do that. We go through the files and we say, hey, grab the prefix and convert it to a new one. So go and grab the file. Here we want to have Rfind. Go until then. That's the file. Okay, it's complaining because what? Because I have to have double quotes. And then just add a suffix. Which is what? Probably not the nicest way to write this, but so we grab the suffix of the file, we convert it into a new suffix. Do we even need suffix? No, we don't need it. So we can just directly just go here and map it directly. And then this is the new suffix. Just to save a couple of lines here. And then we can have like prefix. and maybe suffix. Alex, current objective is just to get the dataset, the primary dataset, into the desired structure, so that we can start processing it and filtering. That's the idea. Okay. No worries. File. Okay, we rename it into a suitable new. And that's it, guys. So this should be it. We haven't tested this. To test this, I can manually quickly cut some of these and create the previous structure. I think that's going to be the quickest way to do it. Let me just create, not here, but under dataset. Again, indic NLP, and then underneath it, let's create the final repo, and then underneath it, let's create train, and then there we want to go and say this guy. Let's cut it and paste it into here. Okay. Here is the alt, and then what else? We have this one. Let's cut it and paste it into train. And then what else? We have this guy. Let's cut it and paste it into train. This guy, cut it, paste it into train. Same here, paste 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 into train. This one, paste into train. This one, paste into train. This one as well. Train. And then this one as well. Paste it into train. I think we're almost done. This is one of the last ones. Cut, paste into train. And finally, wiki titles, cut, paste into train. Okay. Let's now rerun. So let's stop this. Let's rerun. Okay, let's go. We can go over all of this. We are fine there. Let's find the, okay, there is a error I made here. Takes one positional argument, but two were given. Because what? Because okay. Silly error. So we go through the train and see which ones are the directories when just extract the names there. Fair enough. Okay, so here are all of these 15 data set, see if I didn't mess up anything. We do what? We move them. Okay, until we are left with empty indic. We remove indic and then we go through these data sets one by one. We create a path. Here it is. Now we go through the elements. So we go, this one is what? This one is wiki matrix. Here it is. Let's go through the elements. Here's the first element. We split it to get the codes. Now the issue potentially might be that we don't have all of these codes already supported in this mapper. In that case, that may fail. So to prevent that from happening, I'm just gonna, so that we don't have to do the copy pasting again, let me just store these somewhere. Let me just store all of this so that we don't have to stringify this. Here it is. I'm gonna copy paste that to Notion. Store it there. Okay, let's see. English is mapped, of course. This one is mapped as well. New directory. So now we create under wiki matrix another directory. And we just rename this one to this one. Looking good. And then we go and we iterate through that directory. And we grab the suffix, which is going to be the en, and then map to English. And then we basically create a prefix, which is train. And finally, we rename that file into prefix followed by right suffix. Okay, that should be good. As you can see, good. And then we just repeat that for every other data set, hoping that we have the mappings for each of them. We can maybe hit, let's hit F5 until we fail, potentially if we don't have any mapping. Okay, looks like wiki matrix was sorted out. It's now in the correct format. Now we go to the other data sets, JV, and then we keep on mapping and processing. Okay, let me just hit F5. Okay, seems like we support every single one of them, which is awesome, and we are done. Let's just double check, everything looks fine. Okay, if anybody speaks this language, let me know. By the way, we had a very cool situation in the last stream. I was literally, there were not that many people in the stream, maybe literally 5. It was the end of the stream. And I started playing with Kurdish, which is some language in, I think, close to Turkey or whatnot. I'm not knowledgeable enough, but the point was, it's a macro language, meaning there is like the northern, there is a central, there is a southern Kurdish. And there was a guy in the stream who spoke Central Kurdish, and I literally asked him a question. He was like, "Yeah, that has the Arabic script," and was like, "Latin script is for the Northern Kurdish." And then an idea fell into my mind. I was like, "Wait, why not have champions, people who speak the language, who speak the native language of whatever target language? They can basically be the owner for that particular language." Yeah, you were there in that auspicious moment. Nice. I'm rambling, guys. My brain is fried. But we are done. That's the good thing. We are basically done here. We can now start filtering, but before that I said let's first just analyze quickly the download script. So here we have a bunch of data sets now, all in the same format that's expected. And let's go to download parallel corpora. So there was a ton of data sets that we downloaded here. Oh, we might have, I'm not sure whether we ever downloaded this one, by the way. You agreed to the terms of use, selling our soul to the devil. And then comes a ton of information that we don't know how to parse. The only thing I care about is this commercial? Really? Just tell me one bit of information. Commercial or not commercial? To be or not to be? Okay, whatever. If anybody, guys, if anybody can parse this for me, that would be super cool. If you have some time, check it out, see whether you find something interesting, and then post it in the chat or in Discord. Let's see what's going on there. Do we have that one? I don't think we have this one downloaded. Under datasets, let's find, this is sorted alphabetically. Oh, we have it. We actually have it. Nice. There is this is a long file, by the way, 1,000 lines of code. Let me see whether I did any modifications other than this. Okay, I did. Only this one. Just a second. Why do they have... They have it in two places. That's why... Okay, whatever. Let me close the git diff. Today I learned dataset. Turkic interlingua. Let's just roughly see what these functions do. Okay, we did install gsutil, I think, last night or something. And then we just execute, hey, gsutil, copy recursively this from this particular URL to our directory. That's it. And then we map to 3-letter ISO 6393 code for NLLB lengths. So then go through that and split and map and then join and then rename. Basically what we've done as well. So ultimately what should be done is this particular download function, all of these download functions should download. The responsibility should basically be, in my opinion, on these functions to make sure we always have the same format. I'm not sure why they didn't do that in the first place, but we kind of added this adapter function, so to speak, that makes sure we have the right structure. Thanks, Alex. Okay, doesn't seem commercial. You may not publish, copy, automatically browse or download, display, distribute, post, transmit, perform, modify, create derivative works from, or sell any products. Okay, especially that part, sell any products. That's fairly. Can you tell me which particular section is that in? Maybe just create a snapshot and post to Discord. Thanks a bunch. Okay. Let's see. Why did I do this? Okay, whatever. So that's the TIL. Let's just quickly open it up. Okay, that's the format we see here. Let's go to the second one. Let's just skim a couple of them, make sure it's always the same logic. So again, target, and now there is the mapping, and there is the mapping here. So URL, just grab data, response, if it's not okay, if it's okay. They make sure to alphabetically sort. So that's kind of arbitrary, right? So that's the reason why I think we should just double all of the directions. This is completely arbitrary. Download path. We open and we just write the content, and then we extract because that's a zip file, and then what? Remove, use 3-letter codes, open, okay, there's a bit more processing going on here. What do they do? Okay. Source path. It's going to be Tico 19. And then language. We open up this data and we keep on writing node source, and then we end. Okay, and same for the target. And that's what we get here. Okay, that's the. So I'm like, I really don't know why didn't they create just a single big dictionary of these mappings. Here's the Indic NLP, the one that we just played with. 3.1 gigabytes, okay. Okay, nothing fancy there. Let's continue here. Let's see whether, I'm just curious whether they are doing some weird processing. Like also we saw that insight where they were literally sorting language directions, and that's how they're choosing the directory name. So whether it will be Russian Spanish or Spanish Russian. And the reason I'm mentioning that is because you'll see a bit later, the filtering function uses precisely the name of this directory to choose the direction that we'll include in our training set. So that's why I think we just need to duplicate and go both directions. Will there be any computer vision projects after the NLLB project like Clip? We might, I don't know, we'll see. I think this will take a while, by the way, because I'm planning to not just replicate, I'm planning to go beyond 3.3 billion. And I'm also just passionate about training LLMs for different languages. I think going non-English directions is super important. Okay, here there's some processing they do. But other than that, nothing fancy really. If they didn't do FR here, I wouldn't need to do all of this post-processing later on, but fuck it, we can maybe, I don't know, we can maybe even modify these download functions. What does this do? This is some white spaces thingy. Let me just quickly plug this into ChatGPT just to parse it for me. Just quickly, let me see what's going on there. It looks for sequences of 2 or more consecutive whitespace characters and replaces them with a single tab and then splits on tabs. Okay, fair enough. That was the Lingala one. Let's see the FFR. Is there anything interesting going on in here? So both languages in a single file. As you can see, and then they split it there. Okay. Let's go further. Let's see this COVID dataset. Line 0 contains language names. Okay. So here we have multiple columns. And then for each of these directions, open and write, open and write. Fair enough. Again, a ton of these local dictionaries. Okay, nothing fancy there. Hey man, what's up? It's my friend from Brazil. We used to live in the same fraternity. What's up, Luis, man? Nice to see you, man. Abração. For line. How is life treating you? Why are you watching coding videos? Okay, nothing happening in this one. Let me just double check again. Basically, they are again just splitting lines. So this is just a CSV file, I guess, or TSV. They're splitting with tabs and then writing into the target files. Okay, that's it. Font French. Let's see this one. download path, open both of these files, and then, okay, nothing, simple logic. All of these so far have been fairly uniform in their processing. And here, okay, this one is a bit different because what? Because it's is this like Excel spreadsheet type of a format or whatnot? And then load the workbook, grab the friend sheet and the EV sheet, and then some processing like stripping and replacing new lines with spaces, appending, and then writing. Okay, nothing fancy there. Let's see this one. Again, same logic. Let's continue. Almost done with data. And then let's play with filtering. We'll continue tomorrow either way. A couple of different data sets here. We download and then we do what? Extraction, and going through the directory, aligned file, opening up to read the contents. Here, split on this particular string. Weird. ES stands for Español, I guess, just the Spanish in Spanish language. Just a shortcut. And then PDB set trace. Why would you set the debugger trace here? Okay, this one was the weirdest one so far, probably. Are there any specific tricks in data processing pipelines that improves the end-to-end translation performance? I think it's just the quality. You want to make sure. So the thing is, when you're mining data, basically, a lot of the times you will not have, you'll have a lot of noise. Your translations will not be really high quality. By the way, I apologize if you hear noise because in the background my girlfriend is preparing some drinks. She has to continue on living while I'm streaming. Download, open, and then just write. Okay, that's it. Let's continue. Extractions. Again, TMX file. Okay. Nothing fancy there. Mukibi. Is there anything? Nope. It's the same. At least they have fairly consistent way of doing stuff. So it's very easy to parse through this and see what's going on. CSV lines, and then we go through the lines. Stripping, replacing, and then Umsuka. Okay, fair enough. Let's go. Wait, this was the one we just saw, right? Yep. Download file, CSV, okay. Haitian Creole. Download the file. And that's it. So where is the logic here? This one, let's see what happens here. So you just write the response directly into here. Okay, fair enough. Let's just quickly see this Haitian, CMU Haitian, how that looks like here. CMU, here it is, English, looking, okay. So this is the reason it's very hard to generate these empty systems. A lot of low quality translations, right? or sentences general, all right, all lighty. Just some simple, very simple expressions. Kurdish. Okay, let's see what's going on in this one. This one is a bit longer. So what they do is they grab the English to Kurdish URL, they download that, then they take the path, they extract that, they open it up. Okay, and then Kurdish, Turkish, both of these. Okay, it's just two separate data sets. That's the part that confused me, but it's very straightforward other than that. Okay. Let's continue. Download path, download, and then for each of these directions, we just copy the files, lang file to here. Wait, when we copy from here to here, where did the download happen? Lang files, download path. Okay, download. Okay, got it. And the last two ones, nothing fancy there, direct download. Let's see this one. Okay, they're just downloading a ton of these, and there is some helper function which we're gonna check out. A ton of different URLs, but the main function is this. So you open up the path, you go through the URL list, and you just keep on writing. If it doesn't end with new line, then we end up with new line. Okay. It's only used in this particular data set. Okay, guys. Hopefully that was insightful. Let's see. We can now start the filtering. So let's switch to Stopes. Here's the Stopes data repo. So here's the populate data config. This is effectively the reason why I decided to go and modify the downloaded data set so that they conform to a particular structure, because this one will be going through that structure expecting it has certain expectations. So now we can go and analyze it. If we run this script, I've set all of the paths already inside here. So basically I just told it, here is the data set. So we want to basically modify it just a little bit such that we can pass data sets, which is our root for all of our data sets, and then it will find our data there. And then it's going to store the final config here. And we just focus on train primary data set. We ignore the mined and back translated data for now. Okay, so let's go here, here, and paths. We're actually going to do the following thing. Path is list directory of paths. Just a small modification. Okay, and then we can maybe rename this to like data sets root. Do you have any intuition why large language models start to develop hidden abilities? For example, ability to translate languages they weren't directly trained on. Because implicitly, if you want to predict the next word, there are various language skills you want to acquire so that it becomes easier for you to predict the next token. The best story I heard about why this paradigm can take us very far away is by Eli Mahler, and he basically put it like this. So imagine you have a detective story, and basically it's a very complex multi-page, like it's a whole book basically, and then at the end of the book there is a single page where the detective comes and says, okay, I've gathered all of the suspects, I analyzed everything that happened, and I figured out who is the murderer, and that person is, and then the next token, predict the next name. And so basically, in order to predict the next token, even though it's just next token prediction, here predicting the next token maps directly to understanding the whole plot. And so if you want to understand the whole plot, you want to know grammar, you need to understand, sometimes you need to translate, sometimes you need, so all of those skills emerge because it's just easier for the model to fulfill its ultimate objective function, which is predicting the next token. So that's kind of the hand-wavy explanation why it works. Okay, let's see whether this is gonna work. No worries. Okay, well, what happened? I'm too used to using the OS path library. Here they are using the actual path. So there, somebody mentioned before they are using pathlib. So how do you list directories in pathlib? Okay, fair enough. I think we can just do this and then convert it into a list. Will this work? Oh no, sorry. Let's do it like this. And maybe we can then do assert. Or just change this. This should not be a list. This should be just a path. Okay. Nice. Nice. That's it. So now we go through our directories. So here is the directory, and we try and find underneath this one all of those that have directions, language directions. So here are the two ones. That's why we were shoehorning everything in that particular format. So here you can see now we grab the direction, we grab the languages, and then underneath this one we grab all of the files, and we find, as you can see here, we find this one and then split Let me just see something for a second. Okay. Source path, target path. That's it. So if the file does not exist, I want to see where that happens. Oh, thanks, Alex. I didn't see your comments. The slide bar remained so that I couldn't see the messages. Okay, let's quickly run this. Aha. Duplicated direction for corpus. Really? How come? Instead of asserting, let's do the following thing. Let's just continue. So if that happens, if corpus is here, then let's just print direction for this particular corpus, and let's just print source path. Just one of those. Okay, and then let's quickly remove the actual assert. So if that happens, we do this, and then we just skip. We don't add that to the data set. Okay, let's now try and rerun. So here's the first one. Okay, it says datasets XHOSA Navy. So this one is duplicated. Because what? Okay, what's going on here? So it was already added, but it was empty. What? I'm not sure what happened here. Okay. Let me just go quickly grab some water. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Let me just put something here. Just a second. Am I streaming or did I just interrupt my stream? No, I'm still live. Okay. Just a second, guys. So see you in a sec, guys. Let me just go grab some water. Do you guys hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Awesome. Thanks, Alex. Thank you. Let's see where we stopped. We stopped somewhere here. So there is a duplicate direction for some reason. Not clear why. This particular direction is apparently if corpus not in dataset direction. Wait, assert that corpus is not. Okay, so if corpus is in direction, then we have duplicate direction for corpus name. Okay, that's the actual logic, right? Because we want to assert that corpus name is not in the dataset direction. So if it is, we want to go here. Okay, let's rerun. Okay, English MAR, whatever that is. For some reason, that's already inside here. So MAR and train. English MAR train is already there. In particular, Wiki matrix stored it. And then now we're trying to do what? Which dataset is this? This is JW. English MAR train MAR. Okay, so we are skipping. So okay, let's for now let's just log and see what happens. Okay, so it seems everything worked. We just had a ton of these duplicates for some reason. It looks like it's in just mostly these indic datasets. So JW, PMI, NLPC, CVIT, PIB. Okay, all of those are, I think, just indic. Now I know what's the issue here. The issue here is they are trying to deduce the name of the corpus from the file name, which is again not the case, right? So what we can do is we can change the logic for corpus computation. So corpus name computation should be different. We should not do this. We should instead grab the name of the directory. So okay, we grab the path, and then from path base, we just need to grab the base name, right? So here, as we can see, parsec. So here are the dataset names. That's where we should be grabbing names from, right? So that means path, corpus name, is going to be calculated here. And it's going to be basically equivalent of this for pathlib. If somebody knows, Alex, if you know how to do this, let me know. Basically trying to do this but in pathlib. Let's see whether you're quicker or ChatGPT. How do I do? Oops. How do I do? How do I do? Okay, just name. Fair enough. I should have probably just asked Copilot directly. Here we are, corpus name, exactly. Exactly, that's it. Let's run now. If it's not a file, okay, so now we make a mistake here because what? This is just broken logic. We should do whatever the source is, source file name. Exactly. So target name is that same name. Minus the this, and then we add a target. Okay, this might just work. Okay, did this work? Looks like it did. Nice, guys. It seems this worked. Okay. So a couple of changes. You could do stem in pathlib. Okay, stem instead of Rfind. Okay, makes sense. Will stem, let me think. Will stem be smart enough to just ignore the suffix after the last dot? Sure, I mean, if it works, it works. But let's see what we get. Here is the final YAML file. Here are the language directions, and then the datasets, and then actual source. Okay, let's go to something that might have more datasets covering it. Something like English, Spanish. Nope, apparently it's only covered by... Okay, let's go English. What's the code for German in ISO in the 3-letter code. Let's see that for a second. German is GER DE, okay, Deutsch, DEU. Oh, no English German, wow. Yeah, fair enough. What could be a popular direction? It looks like almost for every single direction we have. Okay, here we have for a single direction for this English to TAM, we have multiple data sets here, 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 here. Awesome. So it seems like the structure is as expected. This looks, I think we're on a good direction now. Let's again just return back here and see what did I change. What are some of the changes I made? Let me just close down all of these. Close all. Okay. First thing I've changed is now I assume we pass in the root. So we just go a level above from the previous assumption. So that means we start with the root directory and then we grab all of the data sets underneath it. And then we iterate. And then the second change is the corpus name should be the base name of that path. That seems reasonable. And then because of the structure of our data sets that we saw before, I know that we'll always have just 2 files underneath each of these directories. And because of that, I know I can do something like this assert. And finally, target name is going to be not the corpus name, but instead we grab the source file name and then target. And finally, I changed this, which we should return back. And it should still work. So that's it. Minor changes, all of them are reasonable. One error check, changing the logic how we compute corpus name and target file name, and just this one. Nothing changes the semantics, it's just more robust. So again, let's rerun it. Seems like it's working. That's awesome. I'm just curious about a couple of these. Let me go back here. We had a couple of data sets that we struggled with. If we go to adapt dataset structures, we had Indic languages, we had the NLLB seed and this one. Min and NLP. So this guy, this data set had min Latin and then in. So it had a script here. So let me just quickly open up Stopes. And if we open up the config, let's see the min Latin. It's here. So this is what we've done. This is the direction that we have. I don't like the fact that this has script. It would be cool to erase the script, but then will we have any issues? Is there any other? No, it doesn't. We can maybe just modify this so as to remove the Latin part. consistent with the rest of the assets. And finally, NLLB also has script. So that means ACE Arab. Let's find that one. Ah, interesting. How come we don't have this one? What's going on? That's weird. Where do we do the skipping? Here, but we never wrote down, we never hit this line. Oh. Let's see. Maybe we did, but it's just logging warning, so I didn't see it. Let's rerun this. Okay. Interesting. So what's going on, guys? Let me quickly double check. NLLB seed. Let's just create a breakpoint when that happens. NLLB seed. So when the corpus name, if you didn't know this trick, by the way, this is a cool one. You can create conditional breakpoints. If the corpus name equals NLLB seed, we stop. Okay, now let's rerun it. Okay, so here we are, corpus name is NLLB seed. Yeah, that's a super useful one. Okay, so direction will be what? This one. And then this is the source, this is the target. And we didn't find anything. Exactly, that's the thing. So we just skip it. Because we assume... Okay, we assume that this is gonna be... Exactly, so that's why it was better to just remove the scripts here. Because of these potential bugs. Luckily, I double check the results, make sense. So we can do a couple of things. Let me just think for a second. Well, a quick hack would be to just do create a fix here. A cleaner solution would be to just make sure that here we handle NLLB seed properly, such that we rename the directories. Okay, let's maybe fix it here. Although I would really love to have consistent structure in fairsec. Let's think for a second. My worry here is that we might have duplicates. If we remove the script, sometimes maybe the script is the main differentiator between the languages, right? So will we have such clashes? Let me quickly wrap this up and we can finish slowly for today. And then we can continue tomorrow wrapping up the filtering pipeline. Okay, so quickly do this. Let's create dictionary, and let's just add both of these. Actually, we can just create a set, right? I'm just curious to see. Exactly. Just curious to see what will happen here. Exactly. So let's run this. Okay. 40 of them. Can we grab the keys? Let's convert that to a list. Let's convert it to a temporary list. And then let's sort it. And let's display that as a string. Okay, let's see whether any of these are okay. So here you see it. ACE Arab and AC Latin. That was my fear. And those are basically two different languages because of, I mean, they're probably the same language but different scripts, so we can't just remove the script. Same here, BJN, bug. Imagine, yeah. Comments in that language would be fascinating in programming. Same here, KAS, Arab versus Deva, KNC, same here. So yeah, all in all, TAQ, same here. So multiple of these pairs where if we were to remove the script, we would lose the information. Okay. So what do we do here? Hmm. Okay, then we just leave it as it is. And then we can... Okay, we'll have to iterate more on this, obviously. For now... we can do something like this. And then we'll be able to find the right files. Ideally, we'd have each of the languages with scripts then, but we don't know the scripts for each of those languages, so that's hard. Okay, let's rerun and okay, let's now rerun this. So there are some empty ones. Of course, the corresponding file is missing. Okay, guys, it's almost midnight here, so I'm gonna slowly wrap it up, but tomorrow we're gonna fix this. I'm fairly sure that we have to add the script here for some use cases in NLLB seed for some situations. So we can leave it there, and then we'll kick it off tomorrow morning, 10:30 a.m. As usual. Hopefully this was useful. Let me see whether people are writing anything here. Okay, I see people writing messages here. Emrit will help us with Hindi. And then Animesh can also help with Hindi. Let me just write down some names. Hindi. Wait, add paragraph. And what was the second person? Was Animesh from Discord. Why are they calling product their data set? Okay, guys, that's it. Wrapping it up. See you tomorrow. Cheers, guys. Have a nice evening or day wherever you are.